Hey, this is this, and I know that these videos on the whole motion control things are late, but as I said, I tried to avoid this as much as humanly possible. I really didn't want to do these videos, but anyways, this is going to hopefully be my last video on the motion control, and last couple of videos all on the shitty Microsoft Kinects, now with this video on Sony PlayStation Move. And I'm going to say this off the bat that the PlayStation Move, in my honest opinion, is a pile of fucking dog shit as far as I can care less. Sony did do a better conference than Microsoft because, and I'm going to explain to you here why, even though that the Move is an utter piece of garbage. And the main reason is why I think Sony did so much better was they concentrated less on the Move and more on their games. But the main reason why I think they did a lot more better with their motion controls is the simple fact that, first of all, Sony is, I think, technically being legally obligated to create, to produce the move no matter what. And it's obvious, but the main reason it was in their conference it was in their E3 conference when you can easily see the fact that they didn't really concentrate on that much. And I think Sony knows that even though they have to come out with the move, that they already have a failed product. So what they did was they shoved it into the back and said, let's just hope nobody will notice or care. Besides the simple fact that Sony already has two motion controllers, one being their 6-axis controller that is still inside their new DualShock 3 controller from what I understand. If I'm wrong, you may correct me. And if you're going to yell at me or say stupid comments like, you don't know the controllers at all, well, then you're just an idiot. But, anyways, from what I understand, 6-axis is still in the PlayStation 3, which is still a genuine ripoff off the Nintendo Wii. And not only that, they still have the new PlayStation Eye, not the iToy, the PlayStation Eye. And the PlayStation Eye is the upgrade from the old iToy. And yes, it's a web camera and camera system, but like I said, the motion controls were mostly in the PlayStation Eye toy was nothing more than the software. Basically, meaning when everybody was complaining about, oh man, this iToy just doesn't work, and every time when I connect it, it just doesn't work. Does it have that same motion control when you connect it up to a Mac or to a PC or any other USB device? Because yeah, when you look at the camera, it's just a fucking camera with a microphone built onto it. It's the fucking software. That's where the failure went. It was the failure is within the developers of the games, not into the fucking hardware of a fucking basic camera. And that's where, of course, Microsoft made that same mistake. They seem to think that replacing the hardware with what they seem to think is a more viable solution by making it like a 3D imager and putting an RGB camera in there, which I found out they didn't put a thermal camera, it's an RGB camera, which just detects colors. I don't know why Microsoft does this, but yeah, that's where it went. So, apparent, and of course, and there's no such thing as true voice recognition. And of course, Microsoft got up there and said that there's never been a device like this ever before. Yes, the PlayStation iToy was a shitty piece of device, but there it is, gentlemen. There's your device that was there before the goddamn fucking move. I mean, before the Kinects came up. But still, the move just makes no sense. First, they already ripped off Nintendo Wii with their fucking 6-axis controller, so it didn't make any sense for them to re-rip them off with the same, with now just making a genuine controller. Just is a blatant rip-off. And not only that, and yes, I know that the color ball on the top was being pre-designed all the way back in the PlayStation 1. Yeah, I mean no, PlayStation 2 with the iToy. I mean, when that one guy, I mean, you can see the test footage is all over YouTube with the guy basically waving around a stick with a ball on there, and then doing the predecessor to the sorcery game that everybody seems to love so much. But to be honest, you could have put that ball on anything, on any controller. Hell, you could have put that ball right there on top of the fucking PlayStation 3 controller. But instead, they stick it on top of a fucking Wii ripoff, which makes little to no fucking sense whatsoever. And of course, that being a camera and sensing colored lights, anytime that you're around colored lights or you're standing behind the fucking sun while it rises, guess what's going to happen? Your gameplay is going to be all fucked up. So, what was Sony thinking when they ran this thing out? Mm, but then again, Sony did do the right thing by saying, "Hey, this product's going to fail, so let's not stick all our um, entire effort behind this. Let's just try to stick with what we already have and go with that." And of course, Microsoft's like, "Hey, let's put everything behind the fucking Kinects, most of our shit, and have most of our developers that we've pretty much taken control of, and already suckered into believing that we're the greatest company in the world, and have them all develop games for the move. I mean, for the Kinects, and we'll advertise it like crazy." Sony at least did the right thing and said, "This failed once for us. This failed twice for us." Because once a console has already been set down and planted as a basic console, just like the Nintendo Wii has already been set down as a fucking motion control console. Nothing's going to change that. That's the way it is, and that's the way all the games are going to go for the Nintendo Wii. All the games for the fucking PS3 and all the games for the 360 are not set up as fucking motion control gaming devices until they put overly expensive add-ons to both of them. So why the fuck do they have to put these goddamn things on motion controls on there when I could just go out and get a fucking Wii for half the price? I mean, seriously, there is just no point to any of this. And Sony already knows that the move's going to fail, so they pretty much just threw out the half the advertisement and said they're just going to stick with the hardcore games, which the fucking PS3 was invented for in the first place. And Xbox is, well, we got this new motion control, and we're going to try to separate casual games from hardcore gaming, even though our Xbox 360 is nothing more than a hardcore gaming device box. But we're going to do it anyways and separate the advertisements like blithering idiots against a company that's already beaten us into the fucking casual gaming market's asses, but we want their money anyways because we're fucking generally stupid. Congratulations, Microsoft. That's why you lost the fucking E3 conference with me. And I don't give a shit if anybody disagrees.